Hi guys, thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Kwon. Don't forget, before we get started, you can always watch this or listen to this later throughout the day on your own time if you'd like, just by going to our YouTube channel. You can find this on your favorite podcast platform, and you can find it just by going on InForum.com/podcasts and clicking on InForum Minute. That was a lot, wasn't it? All right, let's get on to your Friday morning headlines, or at least some of them this morning. So the sister of the woman who is believed to be killed by her ex-husband in Warren, Minnesota, is thanking the community for their support during this really incredible tough time that I can't even fathom. So Carissa Odegaard's sister Anna, we got to hear from this morning. And she actually sent in an audio message to WDAY, and she said that her sister was really, really loved by a lot of people. And we learned that Carissa was planning on going back to school for some medical coding, and then running a photography business. And keep in mind, she has 5 kids, so she wanted to do that all while balancing, the life of a mother as well. So Anna, her sister says that Carissa was a fighter up until her last breath. We got to look at her GoFundMe page this morning. And, of course, this is for Carissa's funeral expenses and for the entire family, right? But they had originally set a goal of $2,000. They raised more than $24,000 so far, which is incredible. And actually, in our 5 o'clock hour for First News, we saw that it was at just about $23,000, and then it, more donations started coming in throughout the show, and then by the time 6 o'clock rolled around, we saw that it was at $24K, which is awesome news. So Anna, her sister, wanted to thank the community for showing your support during this time, and our thoughts and prayers are with their family at this time as well. We also have a positive update when it comes to a missing teenager from Fargo. 17-year-old Daisy Doctor was found safe, so we just wanted to let you know. They made that announcement at 10:30 yesterday morning, and she was missing since Sunday, last seen in the Island Park area, but police are also thanking the community for their help this morning. Okay, right now, we know that both U.S. senators from North Dakota are considering some legislative action against President Joe Biden for his student loan forgiveness plan. So Senators Kevin Cramer, John Chauvin, they're saying that they would support legal action against that order, and they're calling this forgiveness plan unfair to Americans who already paid off their loans, and they're also saying that it's unfair, for those who never really had any to begin with. Chauvin says he would like to instead boost programs in place to lower the cost of college instead of doing or following through with Biden's plan on forgiveness. So we'll keep you updated on that and let you know if they decide to take some legal action. Okay, if you live in Moorhead, you might see some property assessors in your yard in the coming weeks. So just wanted to let you know and give you a heads up. They're not trying to cause a ruckus in your yard, but they're expected to be in that area of South River Shore Drive, and then they're planning on going north from there to Brook Avenue in Moorhead. They're going to be doing some property evaluations there, of course, figuring out how much you need to pay in property taxes, and of course they can look at the outside, right? That's typically what they do, but they can also look at the inside if you'd like them to. So if you're interested in scheduling an interior inspection, which are of course more accurate, you can just call the city's assessor's office. Okay, right now Essentia Health is looking for some volunteers right now. A lot of those volunteer spots opened up during the pandemic, of course, with lots of people leaving, so they're trying to fill those gaps again. So there's a lot of different ways you can volunteer. You can work in the medical units, you can just help patients and visitors just around the hospital. You can even work in the cafeteria if you want to. Of course, this is a really good opportunity. If you're a parent of a high schooler, maybe even, this could be a really good way for them to get into the medical field if they're maybe thinking about that. And it kind of gives them a little period to test it out. Is the medical field something that I really am interested in to pursue that sort of education when I go to college? Or maybe this is even an opportunity for college students who are currently, nursing majors or biology majors, whatever it is. I'm rambling now, but yeah, so it's of course a really good opportunity for students maybe trying to get into the medical field. So if you want to be a volunteer, you want to help out Essentia Health, you just will need to make sure you sign up for a weekly 4-hour shift. You have to get a background check. You must have your COVID vaccine. and you must have been vaccinated against the flu between November and March. And lastly, of course, you need to be wearing all required PPE while you're working. So if you're interested, you can submit an application just by visiting their website, or you can just find it just by going on our website, InForum.com. All right. We're looking at some new numbers from the Minnesota Department of Education, which are showing that test scores for students in grades K through 12, are continuing to drop. And of course, the pandemic might be to blame. Here's why. Last school year, we know around 93% of students completed their testing requirements. Well, less than half of those students were proficient in math and science. Reading proficiency is also continuing to fall. And the reason why we're saying the pandemic might be to blame is because these are the numbers that school have really started to see once the pandemic hit. So that's why a lot of this probably is because of the pandemic. Education department says it's gonna up its support to public schools in the state and try to increase those test scores a little bit. All right, wanted to let you know that the Breezeway Cafe inside Fargo's downtown library is now closed. It's going to be closed permanently. It opened more than a decade ago, and we spoke with a library employee who says that it's actually been closed for more than a week now. And the director of the Fargo Library tells us that it just wasn't doing enough to rack in some money, so they decided to close it. Right now, there's no plans, to use that space for something else, but a plan could be drafted starting sometime next year to, of course, either reopen that cafe or replace it with something else. So we'll keep you updated on that. Also today, you can head out to the rodeo in Detroit Lakes. And this year, this is really cool. This annual event is actually going to be bringing in the pros because the Double S Arena Rodeo signed with the PRCA. I've actually personally worked with the PRCA before. So cool. And that's why they're bringing in these professional level cowboys to town to compete. So gates are going to be opening at the arena tonight and tomorrow night at 5. Competition kicks off at 7. And then it doesn't end there. There's more fun even after that. Starting at around 9:30 after those competitions, there's going to be concerts on both nights as well. Tickets, you're looking at about $19 for adults and then $14 for kids. And another fun weekend activity in Grand Forks, you can shove your faces with lots of great food at another food truck festival in town, which is crazy because I swear they just had one last weekend too. And I was at that one. It was very good. Okay, so you will be seeing some of the same vendors as you did at Fargo's Food Truck Festival just from a couple weeks ago if you were in town for that. And then there's going to be lots of new vendors from Grand Forks as well. So those trucks are going to be parked in the parking lot of the Grand Cities Mall all weekend from 11 in the morning to 7 at night. It's going to cost you $3 to go. So really cool. All right, national level of things. We could see the redacted version of the affidavit in that search, of course, of former President Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, and that could come as soon as today. So that document basically is set to spell out why the DOJ thinks that crimes had been committed. Well, earlier this month, we told you that federal agents, of course, took boxes of documents from Trump, and that all comes because he didn't comply with a court order to turn them over. Well, National Archives says that those documents presented a national security risk, including some of the most classified documents and materials in the entire government. So, of course, we are on watch for that, as all of you are, I'm sure, as well. So we'll keep you updated in our evening newscasts as well. Okay, Derek Chauvin, former police officer who murdered George Floyd, he actually is now out of Minnesota. So the Minnesota Department of Corrections is saying that Chauvin actually moved to a federal facility in Tucson, Arizona. It's a medium security prison. He's serving a more than 20-year sentence for the murder and for violating George Floyd's civil rights, of course. And he's actually in a federal facility because of that civil rights conviction, and because it's apparently considered safer for a former police officer. Also today, the man who is accused of killing 6 people during a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin last year is going to be in court. That would be Darrell Brooks. He's accused of course, driving his car through the parade, killing 6 people, hurting more than 70 other people, oh gosh, I remember when, you know, video and footage came out from this day and it was just horrifying. Well, we found out that prosecutors are saying that he's faking a mental health condition to try and make a case for an insanity plea. So, Brooks' defense team is arguing to throw out a recording of his interrogation on the night of the parade as evidence. He's scheduled to go to trial in October. Also, right now, we know that health experts are investigating more cases stemming from an E.Coli outbreak that could be connected to some Wendy's restaurants. So the CDC says that it just got 47 more cases reported to them, which brings the total now to 84 cases in 4 different states. 38 of those people even had to go to the hospital. So the agency is saying that 52 people ate sandwiches at Wendy's in the week before they were sick. At least that's the reporting that they got from these people. So because of that, it's now looking into the romaine lettuce on Wendy's sandwiches, and it's trying to figure out if that could be the source of this outbreak. Also right now, Chick-fil-A is warning people to avoid some of its food because it says that some of its grilled chicken nuggets and fillets could contain a dairy allergen. Now I know what you're thinking, who cares, right? Well, people, you know, have allergies that are very similar to this, very much related. So this could be very dangerous for people who have those allergies or related allergies. But the company is saying that their supplier accidentally added that ingredient to the Chick-fil-A recipe, and this does affect all stores nationwide. So yeah, I mean, if you have any allergies kind of related to a dairy allergen, right, or anything dairy related, you could, you might just want to avoid Chick-fil-A or maybe some of those food products for now. Okay, we also know Amazon is going to be putting an end to its telehealth service. So Amazon Care debuted back in 2019, and it promised to virtually connect patients with a clinician every day of the year. But we're hearing from the company now, as they're saying that they've determined Amazon Care just isn't the correct long-term solution for their customers. So it is now going to be closing at the end of this year. All right, everybody, what we got today, Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Week 1 of high school football begins today, at least in North Dakota. So, of course, we're going to be broadcasting 2 games each week this year. If you didn't know about that already, we've kind of talked about that on First News. So one on WDAY Extra, one on InForum.com. And then the other on exclusively on InForum as well. So, of course, you can watch Bismarck Legacy Sabres take on West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs, and then on InForum.com through the Sports Plus tab, you can see Kindred take on Hillsborough Central Valley. Both games are kicking off at 7 tonight. So I'm sure Dom's going to be talking a lot about that. And then college football season also begins this weekend. So he's going to be checking in as Nebraska gets set to face Northwestern, and lots of football talk on Dom's show today. So make sure you go join him again on 9 to 11 WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Okay, we also had this on First News this morning. Here's a headline I want to share with you on InForum.com right now. North Dakota abortion ban blocked again by Bismarck judge. Without the injunction granted by a Bismarck judge on Thursday, abortion would have become illegal across the state on Friday. So that trigger law, was supposed to go into effect today. Of course, it's not. So if you want more details on that right now, you can certainly do that just by visiting our website, InForum.com. All right, that is it for our Friday. I'm sure many of you guys are just getting started with your day. Push through. You can do this. You got it. And before we go, I just wanted to let you guys know that you can get for 99 cents a month for your first 3 months an all-access pass to InForum.com. Just go on InForum.com/subscribe. All right, everybody. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And yeah, we have news at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. And then we also have news on the weekends as well. We have them in the mornings. We have them in the evenings. In the mornings, we're going to be with Jenna Scott from 7 to 8:30 tomorrow morning, and then 7 to 8 on Sunday morning. So make sure you go join her. And then we'll be back here tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday from 5 to 7. So hope you can join us. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend.